Hey guys, and welcome back. Today I thought we would talk through everything that I read in the month of March, which wasn't a whole lot, but I am happy to say that I finally got my reading groove back. I did only read 2 books in March, but I at least am reading again and I want to read again, and I think that's a massive victory. So I think I'm just going to go in order of how I read these books, starting off, of course, with The Reluctant Fundamentalist by Mohsen Hamid. Side note, I'm having massive allergies today, so if I am a little bit less clear than usual, that's what's going on. I first picked this one up back in January for the Diversathon Readathon and just didn't end up finishing it during January or February, and I think that was because it's just a little bit too relevant to today. Don't get me wrong, Mohsen Hamid's writing is incredibly easy to read, and I just sped through it once I did pick it up, and there were several really beautiful passages that I just was really impressed by. But I think what happened was that I was reading this during the whole Muslim ban, travel ban, extravaganza incident, ongoing drama. So because this is the experiences of a young Pakistani man living in America post 9/11, I think it was just a little bit too relevant. I don't know, I couldn't bring myself to watch the news and then pick this up at night, so I think that's what took me so long. But like I said, I really did enjoy this. There were some real pearls and there's some real gems of wisdom, and if you would like to see my full thoughts on this, I would highly suggest you go check out the very long review and discussion video that I did on this and on its film adaptation. And I guess I should mention, I did end up giving this one 4 stars. Then the other book I completed in March was an audiobook, and that was Post Mortem by Patricia Cornwall, which is the first book in her Kay Scarpetta mystery crime series. The character of Kay Scarpetta is a medical examiner who lives in Richmond, Virginia, and I believe she's the chief medical examiner for her district. In Postmortem, you get dropped right into the middle of an ongoing investigation of several women, all of whom seem to have been killed by the same perpetrator. Now, of course, it is up to Dr. Scarpetta to use the physical evidence of these women's bodies to solve the crime, and she teams up, of course, with the local police department, and especially one Detective Marino. Add to this the fact that her young yet brilliant niece is staying with her for a while, and the fact that somebody is trying to discredit the whole medical examiner's office, and Dr. Scarpetta is starting to wonder if she's ever going to find this killer. Now, the reason I picked up Postmortem was because I was wanting some kind of a mystery, and I have owned this copy of The Scarpetta Factor by Patricia Cornwall for a couple of years now, but I know that this is later down the line in the Scarpetta series, so I wanted to start off with the first one in the series, which of course Postmortem is. That was very bad grammar, children. Do not copy that. Like I mentioned, I did listen to this one on audiobook, and honestly, for the first, I would say, hour or so, I was not very impressed. I kind of felt like it didn't really work to go right into the middle of the investigation because you weren't provided much context, and you were immediately introduced to quite a few different characters who I found a little hard to distinguish at first, and even towards the end of the audiobook, I wasn't incredibly sure which male character especially was talking when. However, I would say that if you like slow burn mysteries or slow burn detective fiction, I would highly suggest that you listen to this because it did gradually get better, and honestly, the last like half an hour of the audiobook was so incredibly tense and so very well written that I will definitely be continuing with this series. Something I really did like about Postmortem is that Kay Scarpetta is an established professional, and she doesn't get her power by being this like young hotshot really sexy woman in a man's field, but she is just a very intelligent, very stubborn, very determined female professional, and I just really liked that. And it was probably unfair of me to compare this to the Women's Murder Club books by James Patterson, but I couldn't help but thinking that this was everything that those books were not, and I really liked that. Basically, the Women's Murder Club books are very dramatic. Like, there's a lot of personal drama going on. It's less about the crime, I would say, and more about how these women's personal lives affects their crime fighting. In Kay Scarpetta, yes, life was going on around her, and yes, she talked about, you know, being distressed by her situation, being distressed by her personal relationships, and yet she didn't let that stand in the way of her work. So she was very much not a hysterical woman, and again, I love that. I found it very, very good. And I think it's safe to say this was a solid 3-star book, and yes, I will be continuing on with the series, though they are quite chunky in you know, in actual physical form, so I might stick with the audiobooks for now. So those are the books that I managed to complete during the month of March, and then I did start one more book just last week, and that is Great Expectations by Charles Dickens. Now, I have never read this before, and I'm actually really, really enjoying it, surprisingly so, and this is actually kind of the book I would say that has got me back into wanting to read, so who knew that Dickens would be a slump-saver? So far, the main character, Pip, is still a young boy, and I think what I'm enjoying about it so far is that it is giving me real kind of Huck Finn, but set in England vibes, so I'm really enjoying that, and I will definitely report back to you guys once I have finished it. And I'm basically reading it so that I can watch the not so hypothetical Victorian literature course video that Katie from Books and Things put up at the beginning of the month. So that is what I read in the month of March and what I'm currently reading, and I would love to hear your thoughts on any of these books if you have read them before. Yeah, that's kind of all I have for today. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you're having a fantabulous day wherever you are, and I will see you next time. Bye!